Hey, hello guys, this is Saikat and welcome to my channel. And today I'm going to show you how to create a domain controller in 2012 R2. So let's get started.
So we're caught up in drama. Everybody's talking. We're caught up in problem. Everybody's talking.
So let me show you first my server. This is 2012, which is newly built right now, and it has 60 GB space. And let me show the configuration to you. Has 2 CPU and it has a 2 GB of RAM. Well, I have to tell you that this is a VM server, so that not need to worry about that. But let's just start the installation. So first of all, you have to configure some settings in the server. The first thing we have to do the firewall settings. Make sure your firewall settings are turned off, because Windows firewall most of us do not use. Okay, so firewall is now turned off for all the profile. It is public, private and domain, so it will not bother you. The next thing is to turn off the Internet Explorer enhanced security configuration, which by default is on, and we have to keep it off. Okay, so now make sure your remote desktop is enabled, so that from remotely you can access the server. And now it is time to put an IP address in the IPv4 section. So I'm using 192 range of IP address, which is class C IP range for my infra. So I'm putting my domain controller 192.168.0.1. I'm putting the DNS server the same IP address, because domain controller along with the DNS, which is a recommended solution from Microsoft. So whenever you install domain controller, you have to install the DNS for performing better. So okay, so my network part is ready. Now I have to rename the server, because by default Windows take a default name while we are formatting a server. So I have to make a simple name to understand better. So my domain controller name will be DC serv01. So I have to restart the server before start the installation, because after name changing, server always try to restart and make the necessary changes from the backend. So let's just wait a second. Okay, so server is now restarted. I'm logging in. Okay, so as you can see, my server is now changed to the DC-server01. So one thing I want to tell you, while you're putting computer name, do not put underscore, which is like let me show you one example. So your server should not be named as like SRV_01. So some of the applications like SQL itself does not support this underscore section, so you have to better, if you use instead of underscore, you just use hyphen. Okay, so this is a findings that I have get. Okay, so let's start with the installation. So first I have configured the network segment. Let me just verify it. So my network segment is up and configured, and make sure you are able to ping yourself. Okay, so now I have to install role. So if you can go by dashboard, you can go from manage, add role and features. So I'm going by dashboard and next, select your server. This is my domain controller. Next, Now I have to choose Active Directory Domain Service. So there is a quite difference between 2008 R2 domain controller and 2012 R2 domain controller. So in the DC promo that is used to promote domain controller in 2008 R2, that is obsolete by 2012 R2. So now we are using a role and features to domain controller installation, and then we are promoting domain controller by manually clicking on it. So click on next. So keep the default feature as it is. So it will install group policy management feature, it will install remote server administration tool, and there are some other settings in that. Then it will install other lots of things, so keep that as it is. And then ADDS, then confirmation, then restart the destination server automatically if required. You can check, or it is on you how do you want to restart. Then click on install. So it will take time to install the same. So I'm keeping pause on this video. After installation complete, I'll come to this page again. Okay, so now you can see the installation has finished. Now it is showing that configuration is required. Installation succeed on DC-SRV01. Okay, so here there is a option promote this server to a domain controller. Now you have to choose this option to promote the server as a domain controller. I'm clicking on it. Click on it. Yeah. So a new wizard has came. So there is a 3 option: add a domain controller to existing domain. If you have existing domain already, you can add this server as a secondary domain controller, and add a new domain in an existing forest. If you have a multi-domain single forest concept architecture, you can add a new domain in an existing forest. Now as I have a new fresh domain controller with a new forest, so I'm putting add new forest. So my domain name will be sctech.net. So my forest function level and domain function should be high, the latest one. So specify the domain controller capabilities will be DNS server checked and global catalog. So this server should be a member of global catalog. So I'm putting my password, which is TSRM password, which is used for recovery Active Directory. Now come to the DNS is already selected. I'm just clicking on next. Additional option, I don't have to do anything, it will automatically take the name from the NetBIOS. So it has taken my domain name. Now click on next. Now the default folder, that is database NTDS folder, which is by default C Windows NTDS folder. The log folder is also in the same drive, and the sysvol folder, which is responsible for the group policy logs and other files of the domain controller, which is stored in the Windows sysvol. So I'm clicking on next. So these are the all things that we are implementing here, and you can you can export the script. Earlier it was a normal version of XML version, now it is a PowerShell version. In 2012 R2 it was XML file, now it is modified to the PowerShell script. So now click on next. It's checking the prerequisites. It'll just take little 1 minute. Okay, so all prerequisite checks has successfully. Click install to begin the installation. So now I'm clicking on installation. So my domain controller is promoting now. So I have to wait till the domain controller is promoted properly and successfully. It will automatically restart the server. So I have to wait till the server restart. So now my domain controller is up. So here the password will be the same administrator password that was the locally. Now that password has converted to a domain administrator password. So after domain controller configuration complete, in the network sharing center, my Ethernet, sorry, just a second. Yeah, so my Ethernet settings that I earlier make the DNS server, see the DNS server has gone, so I have to re-enter the DNS server. While this processing of this, by promoting this domain controller, the DNS server took as a loopback, so I have to delete this DNS server and I have to put the same DNS server once again. Okay, close. Now I have to just disable the Ethernet adapter and enable to take the DNS server as effective. It should take the DNS name. Yeah, so now you can see that my domain name has taken in the Ethernet, so that means my DNS is working right now. Okay, so let's check out very quickly the Active Directory parts, my domain and users computers. So here my domain users and computers wizard, where I can see all the user list and the group list. So here I can create my one user, server administrator, admin, putting my password. I can't tell you the password right now, so user cannot change the password, never expire. Okay, next. So I just create an account by which I am going to log into all my servers. So this account should be member of domain admin, so that it can log into the servers. Okay, done. So I'm just logging off from the administrator and logging into the domain admin to check the effectiveness of this account. So SRV admin password. Yeah, so it has logged in. Okay, so can see the DNS server, which is absolutely fine. So I'll show you the DNS configuration in later my video. So as of now, this is it, and thanks guys for watching this video. Hope you like this video and don't forget to subscribe.